So a few months back, I asked the question, are Nottingham Forest going to keep their run of form at the start of the season going in the Premier League? And in general, people were pretty pessimistic about that. And to be honest, I had my doubts as well, but I said they definitely had a shot of being able to get European football. And that's just not, non-Forest fans. That's also Forest fans commenting saying, look, we've got a very difficult December. If we can come through that relatively unscathed, we'll be doing all right. But they doubted whether they had the ability to do so. However, we're now in January, and it's fair to say they have done so. They have been able to keep their amazing form going. As I record this the day after Nottingham Forest played against Liverpool, Forest are currently in second place. Now, they could be overtaken by Arsenal depending on their result later in these midweek games in the Premier League. But the fact remains that Forest managed to get a draw against Liverpool and are unbeaten against them in the Premier League, having won at Anfield earlier in the season. Still the only side to beat Liverpool in any competition over a proper meaningful game. What I mean by that, Spurs, I know you guys beat them in the EFL Cup semi-final first leg, but you've also got to beat them over 2 legs for that one. So I'm talking about something that is an out and out win. I mean, if you win overall over 2 legs, fair play to Spurs, that's even more impressive. But Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, at least, undoubtedly they're the only team that have beaten Liverpool this season. And I just wanted to talk about them because I genuinely thought that, I'm giving them the kiss of death here, they're going to drop off here. I don't want to see this happen, but I really, when I talk about these teams, sometimes they go one or two ways, and they usually end up losing whatever incredible miraculous form they had. Just sod's law really at that point. But Forest have been incredible this season. We've got to talk more about them, man, because we've got to have an update here. Because honestly, after Chris Wood put Forest ahead in their match against Liverpool earlier this week, I really, really did think that I'm going to be doing a video about them being title contenders here. And I'm still doing this video because it was a 1-1 draw in the end. And something that I think I touched on it, to be fair, in the previous video about Forest. But again, you look at the stats. You look at the stats for Forest against Liverpool, and there is nothing unusual about this in the sense of a Forest game. They gave up possession to Liverpool. Liverpool had 70% of the ball. They gave up a lot of the opportunities. Liverpool having over double the shots on target, or almost 4 times the shots in total of Forest. And you watch the game, because I did watch the game last night. You watch the game live. You gotta give props to Forest for being able to withstand that onslaught of an attack. And it'd be easy for someone to say, oh, they just sit back and defend. They're just like Burnley back in the day. They're boring, They just soak up all this pressure. But it's not really like that, though. It doesn't feel like it to me. What they do is incredibly deliberate, and what they also do, they don't go into... I know a lot of people say, oh, no team goes into a match to draw 0-0. That is a load of rubbish. There are a lot of situations where clubs outside of that top 6, they'll go away to a Man City back in the day, away to a Liverpool, away to a Man United when they were winning things. You definitely sit back and try and get a draw because that's a fantastic result. Forest don't do that, though. They set up in a way to be able to counter-attack and get goals. They went ahead in this game. They went ahead in this game after 8 minutes through Chris Wood, who can a woodcutter score goals? Yes, he absolutely can, and he's still firing them in. A man absolutely reborn. Incredible what he's doing. But it's very deliberate what Forest are doing here. They know exactly what they're doing, and they execute it to such a great effect. It is devastating the way that they can counter-attack. I mean, even when it was 1-1 and Liverpool were chasing the game in the last few minutes and they were absolutely going for it, trying to force a way through, trying to get a second goal, there were times when Forest looked really dangerous. They put a ball across the goal line almost, and if there was a player there, if there was Chris Wood there or a Womney there, because I think a Womney was on at that point, that would have been a tap-in, and that would have been 2-1 and probably a victory as well. So it was very, very close. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I kind of find myself saying no, they're not in a title race, because I feel like if they won this game, then you'd have to say they would be. You look at the Premier League table right now. I mean, what's the gap between Forest and Liverpool? I think it's about 7 points or so at the moment, with Liverpool with a game in hand as well on top of that. It's 6 points at the moment with Liverpool with a game in hand. So, I mean, earlier I would have said, oh yeah, when Liverpool beat Everton. I'm not as convinced about that happening now. Now they've got David Moyes. Now they've got a manager who's actually, probably going to try and get something, at least be a closer game anyway than what it would have been under Dyche. But, for me, honestly, Forest are doing incredible. I hesitate to say they're in the title race. I've spoken with a good friend of mine, Joe. He's a massive Forest fan. I think he got a mention in the last one as well. So I'm giving you a mention as well this time because I know you like watching these videos. I sent him a a stat thing the other day, and I don't know if this is still the case, but when I sent it, I think Forest actually had more points than Leicester did during their title race at this point of the season in terms of how many games it plays. Now, that might have changed now. Now I've played a few games since then, but the fact that in and around that is incredible. But I would say that Liverpool are going to get a massive points total this season. They've drawn a few games here and there. They've drawn the last 2 games. So they have been dropping some points, but I don't see them letting this lead up slip. I really don't. Even if Arsenal come into it and, you know, they gain some points back on Liverpool, it's a 7-point gap at the moment with 20 games played for both Arsenal and Liverpool. And Forest, I can't see them clawing that gap back to Liverpool. But I tell you what, Nottingham Forest, without a doubt, have gone from maybe they'll get European football to they have a good chance of getting into the Champions League. They really do. Chelsea have fallen off a bit recently. Newcastle are the form team in the division right now. They're a big threat to that. But even if they overtake Forest, even if Arsenal overtake Forest, Forest are in 4th place. And even then, if they finish in 5th place, that might be enough for Champions League football. It depends on the coefficients and all that good stuff. It depends how English teams perform in Europe this season. But last season, aside from the Bundesliga in Germany and aside from Serie A in Italy, they all got a 5th Champions League spot, and it'll be the same this time around too. It just depends on how the clubs actually perform. And to be honest, I think all the English clubs are probably going to get through to the knockout stages of the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League. So I think it's very likely, you know, that England will probably be one of those 2 that get through, because sides from Germany and Spain, and some Italian sides as well for that matter, have really, really underperformed in European competition. So I think England are a very, very strong bet to be able to get that 5th Champions League spot. So, and who's going to overtake them then? Well, maybe Man City, maybe Chelsea. Man City a bit patchy at the moment. Chelsea haven't won in 5 games. Villa don't really seem consistent enough. Bournemouth, they're doing amazing to be where they are. So, and Spurs and United, Man United are nowhere near consistent enough. So honestly, right now, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to say it. I think Forest will get Champions League football. I think by hook or crook, whether it's 4th place, whether it's 5th place through the 5th Champions League spot, Nottingham Forest, I feel like they'll get Champions League football. And that is a sentence that I never, ever thought I'd be saying. I didn't see it. Forest fans, you didn't see it either. Who the hell saw this coming? I don't even think Nuno would have seen this coming. When he took over, there was no way. You know, they were not quite in a relegation battle, but they were doing really poorly, and they only got saved really from the drop by the fact the bottom 3 sides last season were so unbelievably garbage. Trust me, I know I'm a Sheffield United fan. I know exactly how bad the 3 sides were that went down last season. You know, they got saved partly because of that. And here they are in 2nd place. The Tricky Trees are tearing it up right now, and I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. I'm all here for any side that upsets the order like this, that breaks that top 6 monopoly. You know, I am sick of the status quo. I am sick of PSR ruining any kind of chance of this kind of thing happening. And doing its best to anyway, but Forest are absolutely sticking it to them, and I love it, and I want to see more of it. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it too. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Where are Forest ending up this season? I said they qualify for Europe this season. I still think they're going to qualify for Europe this season, but I think they're going to go to the top table. I think they're going to the Champions League. I'm telling you. That's my thoughts. But let us know yours in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well. And we'll see you very soon, guys. Have a good one.